Ah yes, the vintage dune buggy, a fascinating era in the mid to late 60s when these cheeky fiberglass creations sat on a bunch of scavenged Volkswagen Beetle guts and then became iconic. Look at the original Thomas Crown affair with Steve McQueen alternately delighting and terrifying Faye Dunaway. Or come forward decades and James Bond's being attacked by bad guys in a little fleet of these things. They have this enduring charm. But this isn't just a dune buggy. This is where they all began. This is a Meyers Manx. And now we have the Meyers Manx 2.0. This is the new dune buggy from the original maker of dune buggies. It's a triumph in going back to the past and bringing it forward. Let's take a look. The original dune buggy was a Meyers Manx, developed by Bruce Meyers in 1964. Such a sensation, especially out here on the West Coast, that scads of other companies began to make kits very similar, also riding on a VW chassis. But Meyers failed in a battle to patent the design. So by 1971, he was out of the game because everybody else was in it. Now, as much as I love the original Meyers Manx dune buggy, it never looked this good because this has had some real pro styling put upon it by Freeman Thomas. You know his pen from the original Audi TT, the new Beetle when it came out. Now, there is no connection between his VW associated roots and the fact that this car used to be something that rode on VW roots. It's kind of a fascinating coincidence more than anything else. Most importantly, the new Manx is electric. More on that in a minute. Take a look at how he's brought in some nice cues from back in the day. Texture-coated black crinkle finish headlight buckets with nice chrome surrounds. A chrome push bar up here as well as one in the back. The roll bar inside is all nicely chromed, just enough to take you back and not with too much sort of modern filigree, just enough to make it fresh and frankly cleaner than the original. Inside, things stay simple, and I can't tell you how happy I am that there's no LCD dash in this thing. They get it. There's a very simple sort of a reinterpretation of the old VW dinner plate speedometer, some buttons on the side here, and inside it's this same spare kind of tub that you swear you could hose out when you get back from a day on the beach. That's how Steve McQueen would have done it. Three-way top, by the way. You can have a cloth bimini top, you can have a hard top, which is in place right now, or you can take the whole thing off and have it be an open top car. And by the way, these piston supports right here tell you that we've got a hinged pivoting apparatus, so the back can open up to give you some access to that rear compartment. A little utility never hurts. And dig that crazy fabric, man. Short of Pasha in a vintage Porsche, this is about as good as it gets in terms of retro accuracy. But don't let all this simplicity in here suggest this thing's a death trap. Far from it. They're going to have an aluminum monocoque tub, so the whole thing's going to have front and rear crash zones. I mentioned the roll bar. By the way, the windshield support is also a functional roll bar. And many other basic safety items, including a tilt collapsible steering wheel. So this isn't the kind of death wish roll of the dice that a 60s era dune buggy would have been. Now back here is arguably where the biggest changes have occurred in this vehicle as it became a 2.0. This is where you used to have the noisy, greasy stuff. The VW engine sat in here with a fascinating bunch of pulleys going around and a giant, usually megaphone chrome exhaust sticking out. All that gone, of course. Now they have an electric motor that sits back here, and ahead of it you'd find 3 to, I think, 6 battery packs, depending how much range you choose. I like the idea of the 150-mile model. The base car, if you will. You don't need 300 miles out of one of these. That's not the point. Comes in around 15, maybe 1,600 pounds curb weight, featherweight. So a relatively modest electric motor and battery and powertrain should do wonders in terms of responsiveness. That's my guess. And you got a little better center of gravity on this one because the batteries push that weight forward, where on the original VW powered one, everything was just sitting right back here at the bumper line. And by the way, that rear electric motor is actually motors, 2 of them paired together, one driving each rear wheel, not all-wheel drive. The front wheels are busy with, imagine this luxury, electric power steering in a dune buggy. They're taking orders for these as I speak. This is late August 2022. 50 beta cars come out in 2023 to people who have a really good reason, not just the money, to buy one. They want the real fans to bang on these things, and then they go into a little more production in 2024.